Hello all, it's James Johnson aka Sulphurblade. Welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my content, and welcome back to Football Coach College Dynasty. So this is now Season 6 and we're in Week 13. We're undefeated and we are barreling towards a matchup of undefeateds, providing that we win out in regular season and Miami wins out in regular season, but I don't see why that's not going to happen. So let's go ahead and see if we can't make it happen. Recruiting has been accomplished. So we're going to jump in to the game versus our rivals at Ball State. They're actually having an okay year. They're 5-3 inside of the conference. And I believe they're the next closest on our side of the bracket. We do have some visitors. So the game has some importance, but we're not really any likelihood of possibly losing these battles. So even if we lose this, I don't think it's going to affect the chances of us landing these recruits. Alright, heads. Northern Illinois has won the toss. We're going to defer to the second half and play ball. Alright, it's 1st and 10, 1st and 10, 2nd and 9, 3rd and 1, 4th and 4. Offensive coordinator wants to start off the game running. I'm fine with that. Alright, I like what the coordinator's done. Good job. Touchdown. Second and 10. 3rd and 1. 2nd and 1. 3rd and 1. Punt. Second set of downs. None of that. Field goal looks like. Okay. Turnover and downs. Nice. Long run for Emmanuel Kemp. Interception. Looks like a field goal. Alright, looks like we're not going to be getting affected by any rivalry shenanigans in this game. Third and goal. No timeouts, 10 seconds left. Alright. We missed that? You're kidding. Jeremy Hardy missed it. 24 yards. Jeremy Hardy. Did something happen to our kicker? Alright, well, let's try a 45-yarder then. Missed. Can he make a 48-yarder? Yes. Touchdown. Interception. We're punting. Turnover on downs. Touchdown. Fumble. Yeah, I think we're just gonna kneel on it. Finish game and advance. 37-0 versus our rivals at Ball State to finish the season. Not a bad game. Congratulations, you've been invited to the Mid-America Conference Championship. Alright, we have a bye week. So one of our linebackers will be coming back healthy. Alright, we have 2 that haven't signed yet. Actually, this one is strangely and oddly closer than it should be. Looks like Ohio is coming in last second trying to steal our guy from us. Yes. What did I want to check? I wanted to check the depth chart. Okay, I was just misremembering the name of my kickers. Oh wait, Miami's lost. They're no longer undefeated. Well, it's actually sad. I was looking forward to a battle of the undefeateds. Alright, we're going to run the football, and we are going to stop the run. That's what we do. No adjusting to the game plan. Big Ten Championship Preview, SEC Championship Preview. Number 9 Northern Illinois takes on Miami, Ohio this week in Detroit in a battle for the conference title. The two teams are fairly evenly matched talent-wise. The two teams have similar yards per game and point per games differentials. Northern Illinois has the second-ranked scoring defense, allowing just 10.2 points per game. Julian Wolf is currently at the top of the charts for Player of the Year race. So what happened with Miami? Who did they lose to? Ohio. Interesting. Well, seeing as we've already beaten Miami, Ohio, and we've beaten Ohio, who's beaten them, we really should beat them. There should be no funny things happening, but you never know. We gave perks, right? Pitches, yes. Alright, matchup history. It's been 3 games apiece between us. Okay, they've got a few injuries going on. Miami, Ohio is favored. Alright, it's heads. We're going to defer to the second half and play ball. There's snow in this conference championship game. First and 10, first and 10, second and 10, third and 5, punting. Going straight to the ground. We're punting. Third and 1, fourth and 1, punt. None of this end around BS. We're punting again. First and 10, second and 3, first and 10, second and 11, first and 10, second and 10, third and 6, fourth and 6, long field goal. Missed. Alright, we can't capitalize off of the field position. Punt. Didn't look like a great punt, to be honest. Clock run out on first quarter. Second and 10, third and 1, first and 10, first and goal, second and goal, touchdown. Miami is on the board first. What just happened? Wide receiver Logan Page returned the kickoff for 103 yards for a touchdown. Alright, it's 7-7. Second and 10, first and 10, second and 2, third and 7, fourth and 7. Let's see if our offense can't get moving. No quarterback sneaks. Halfback dive. Alright, touchdown. 14-7 in this championship. 1 minute 52 seconds left in the second quarter. Second and 10. First and 10. Second and 10. Third and 10. Punt. We have a minute left. And we can't seem to go anywhere. We're going to let the clock run out in the second quarter. We're punting again. Second and 10. Third and 3. Fourth and 8. Okay. Big games, this is the time to pull out the razzle dazzle. Let's go for it. Nothing. Yeah. No. 38-yard field goal. Made. Right, first and 10. First and 10. Second and 13. First and 10. Second and 10. Third and 2. First and 10. Second and 10. Third and 9. Long field goal attempt on their part. They made it. Right, it's a 7-point ball game again. And our offense just can't go anywhere. Second and 9, third and 8, fourth and 6. Really? Punting. I feel like this is a big play. And I feel like if we went for it and missed, we would be giving up amazing field position. But I feel like our offense needs that spark to get going. So, as dumb as this might sound, we're going for it on our own 19-yard line. Oh, Jesus. And as dumb as that was, now it could lead to disastrous effects. Okay, second and 12. Third and 10. Missed the field goal. How about that? Alright, let's get going, team. Jet sweep, huh? Quick slants. 41-yarder. Missed. Why did I know you were going to miss? First and 10. Second and 10. Third and 5. Chew clock. Come on, we need this first. Put it in, please. Alright, that was a big field goal. Really big field goal. Alright, they got less than 2 minutes to make up 10 points. I'm feeling good right now. First and 10. Second and 6. Ouch. big gain, 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10, 4th and 10. Big 1st down for them. Alright, extra point. Cover onside kick. Ohio failed the onside kick. Alright, straight ahead. And we're going to kneel on it. No reason to attempt to do anything else in a championship game. Alright, it was a tight one between us and talented Miami, Ohio in the championship game, but we did come out on top, and that is what matters. This is Northern Illinois' 2nd conference championship. This is head coach James Johnson's 2nd conference championship. Alright, begin the selection show and reveal the top 25. Syracuse, number 25. Colorado, number 24. Oregon State, number 23. UMass, number 22. Boston College, number 21. Arizona State, number 20. Notre Dame, 19. Georgia, 18. North Carolina, 17. Michigan, 16. Wisconsin in the runnings, number 15. Stanford, number 14. Oklahoma, 13. Clemson, 12. Army, 11. South Carolina, 10. USC, 9. BYU, 8. UCLA, 7. Northern Illinois, 6. We have finished the season in the 6th spot, which should give us a fairly decent playoff game. We'll see here. LSU 5, Oregon 4, Florida State 3. Remember, we started off this season beating Florida State, right? Yeah. Ohio State number 2, and Alabama number 1. Alright, we're taking on Army. These guys get the bye. I'm confused here. Why does it look like there's not everyone's in the playoffs? we got this last guy. Ohio State University attempted to come in last minute and swipe him away. We got a buy here before the game. Okay. We did assign our pitch. Yes, we did. Alright, this is the awards week. Right, QB Ian Benson from UMass. Defensive lineman Jaden Collier from Alabama. Running back Preston Franklin from The Ohio State University. Quarterback Hudson Whitaker from The Ohio State University. And running back Julian Wolf from our Northern Illinois University. The answer to this question is Julian Wolf. We have back-to-back Player of the Years. Now please don't let him go get drafted. Actually, he's a redshirt senior. He can be drafted. Absolutely. Oh, wait. No, I want to go to Defensive Player of the Year. I didn't want to skip. Alright, we have defensive linebacker Tucker Chapman of Oregon. Jaden Collier of Alabama. Joel Ramirez of The Ohio State University. Jesus San Miguel of BYU. And linebacker Darren Sellers from Alabama. Who is the Defensive Player of the Year? Jaden Collier of Alabama. The perennially overranked Alabama. Okay, Freshman of the Year. Quarterback Brett Haley, BYU. Defensive lineman Chaz Lawrence, Alabama. Defensive lineman Nicholas Floyd of The Ohio State University. Running back Philip Pereira of The Ohio State University. And running back Jorge Roberts of Old Dominion. Well, I'm rooting for the Old Dominion guy. And it's Philip Pereira of The Ohio State University. Alright, Coach of the Year is Jan Adams for SCAR. South Carolina something or another, probably. I don't know what SCAR stands for, if I have to be honest. Okay, SE Wisconsin. The Wisconsin coach is Big Ten Coach of the Year. Well, I don't think Wisconsin's going to be looking for my talents this year, sadly. And Mid-America Coach of the Year is us. Woohoo! Alright, let's go to the All-Americans. First team, Julian Wolf. First in defense, none of our guys. Second team offense, one of our offensive linemen. Second team D. Third team offense. Third team defense. Alright, all conference honors, first team all conference. We got several here. 4 of our offensive line and our running back, our kicker, and our returner. First team defense, 2 of our defensive linemen, 2 of our linebackers, 3 of our corners, 2 of our safeties, and our punter. I mean, nearly our entire defense is the first team defense. That's pretty good. Second team offense, our QB, our tight end. Second team defense, the remainder of our defense, evidently, a defensive lineman, a linebacker, a corner. Alright, well, let's go to the award winners page. Right, I feel like we have a shot against Army. A real shot, actually. We're going to do what we do. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to stop the run. Let's lock that in. Practice it up. We have a safety recovering from injury. Let's adjust the depth chart. Pretty sure we also have a linebacker recovering from injury, but it wasn't showing that. Alright, we have a fairly healthy squad. So I don't think we can blame any letdowns on health issues. I think this is our big moment to shine here. I feel like we have an actual chance against Army. I mean, of the people that we could be playing against, Army is the most similar to us, I think. So I think we got a real shot. Army is called heads. Army has elected to defer to the second half, and we're going to play ball. There don't seem to be any weather shenanigans going on. Alright, touchdown. We're on the board first. 2nd and 7, 3rd and 7, 4th and 7. Things are going alright for us here. Until that. What a medium pass. something like this. Play action, comebacks, punting. Okay, 1st and 10, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2, 1st and 10, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 5, 1st and 10, 1st and 10, 1st and 10, 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, 1st and goal, 2nd and goal, 3rd and goal. We're holding him to a field goal, and they made it. Okay, 2nd and 6, 1st and 10, play action, failed, pass didn't, back to the run, none of this QB rushing stuff. Okay, a jet sweep, got us some yards, 33-yard field goal, it's good. 2nd and 7, 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 2, 1st and 10, 2nd and 1, 1st and 10, 2nd and 2, 3rd and 5, 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 6. We're holding them to a field goal. Yes. Second and 10. No. Sure, we'll go with a deep pass, but something more along the lines of that. Okay. They're holding us to a field goal again, huh? Well, we'll take it. 1st and 10, 2nd and 2. Clock is run out on the 2nd quarter. 1st and 10, 2nd 11, 3rd and 3, 4th and 3. Our ball. Alright. Good. Not an end around in this situation, no. Keep it simple. Interception. 1st and 10, 1st and 10, 2nd and 1, 1st and 10, 2nd and 1, 1st and 10, 2nd 11, 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, 1st and 10, 2nd and 15, 3rd and 15. Okay. 2nd and 1, 1st and 10. We've evidently called that play a lot. Second and 9, 3rd and 9. Clock is out on the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 4, 1st and 10, 2nd and 8, 1st and 10, 2nd and 5, 1st and 10. Ouch, 1st and goal. Touchdown. That was a big drive. We basically, yeah, huge drive. First and 10. Army's got 4 minutes to answer back. Second and 10. Third and 9. Fourth and 11. Our ball. Okay. Just chew clock. Keep chewing that clock. Third and 5. Fourth and 3. We're running on 4th and 3, are we? Alright. Yeah. I didn't think I liked that. Three seconds left. It's in the books. We have a win. It wasn't pretty, but it's a win. A win's a win. And we won in the first round of the playoffs. I predicted that this might happen. I predicted if we beat Miami, we would get a good ranking. We would pull a winnable playoff game. We pulled a winnable playoff game. We made it past the first round. So far, this is going according to prediction. However, my prediction also said that this next game is when we get our asses handed to us. Alright, we lost one of our offensive linemen for this season. That's gonna hurt. Right, all the recruits have committed. And we have a offensive line situation. We're facing off against Florida State. Well, that's actually interesting because we beat them at the beginning of the year. Alright, let's go in and make sure that nobody has been missed in depth chart changes. I don't think we've had any injuries to our wide receivers all year. everything looks fine. Alright, let's run the ball. Stop the run. We're fine with our game plan. Yeah, this is interesting. A rematch. Florida State, beginning of the year. End of the year. Let's look at the postseason bracket. We can sneak past Florida State. Then we have to face the Ohio State University. But what about UCLA? Yeah, no, it's going to be the Ohio State University. Well, that's not very fair. And then we got, hopefully USC beats Alabama up here. And we got Oregon versus LSU. Alright, let's see how this goes down. Florida State University is favored by 9. Yeah, just a reminder. We won at the beginning of the year. Heads, we're going to defer to the second half and play ball. Second 11, third 9. We're coming at this backwards. I'm not used to being on this side of the field for whatever reason. And a 9, third and 7. We're punting. With a 5. No. Third 1. Fourth and 7, we're punting. Third and 6, first and 10, first and 10, second and 10, third and 17. We're punting again. Second and 9, big gain for them. Second and 6, interception for us, huge. Can we capitalize on that, please? No, we're punting. Big gain for them. Third and 1, first and goal, very short field. Touchdown. Florida State's on the board first. Ouch, interception for us. Florida State's got it back into scoring position. Third and 13. Another touchdown. This game is getting out of hand fast. offense, we need some spark here. Some glimmer that you can play ball here. 42-yard field goal. Alright, we're on the board with 3 points. Come on, offense. We gotta go. Oh boy. Come on. Touchdown. Right. Can we get back in this game? 3rd and 3, 4th and 5. End around. $53-yard field goal, no. 4th and 6. Big play. We did it. We converted that. That was huge. Oh, come on. Come on. Are you kidding me right now, guys? We had that huge 4th down conversion only so you guys could just fall apart and do nothing off of it. Second and 9, 3rd and 14, 4th and 3. They made the field goal. It's now a touchdown. Separates us. We need to get in the end zone, guys. That a boy. All right, it's 17-17, 2 minutes left in the game. Timeout. You guys are like, why? Why are you wasting a timeout right now? I want my defense fresh. Right now. I want them to get some water down their throats, drink, etc. I want a fresh D. 2nd and 18. 3rd and 19. 4th and 10. Ball's in our hands. Now you're like, well, be nice if you had that 1st down or that timeout now. I'm like, yeah, it'd be nice if we don't end up giving away a safety right now. We are on our 1-yard line. All right, huge 1st down. We're not going anywhere fast. All right, punt. Okay, Okay, we got to keep them out of field goal range. Overtime. Florida State wins the toss. Florida State has elected to start overtime on defense. A sweep? Really? Interception. Oh shit. Made field goal. Well, that's it, guys. It was exciting. I figured we would lose in this round. However, I wasn't expecting to play a Florida State team that we beat earlier in the year. I had a glimmer of hope there, but that glimmer of hope was dashed out in overtime versus Florida State. Anyway, it's still a major victory for Northern Illinois. We are a tiny fish compared to these teams we're going up against. The prestige disparity is just monumental. Having gone as far as we did, our program can hang its head extremely high. So we're going to finish this game, advanced into the rest of the off season, feeling like champions that we should feel. You played in a certified classic. Okay. There is no recruiting to do. Just advance. Alright, Florida State is number 1. Florida State won the national championship. Look at that. We beat the national champions at the beginning of the year. Honestly, I think we should rank higher than number 7. There should be an argument to put us at number 2 or number 3 because we were knocked out by the national champions and we had also beaten the national champions, and we only lost to the national champions in overtime. So I would think that there'd be a lot of people saying right now, Florida State, or not Florida State, but Northern Illinois, they beat the champs and they went into overtime with the champs and were knocked out by them. They are definitely the next best squad in the league. But hey, you know, that's what I'd be saying if I was one of these judges voting on this. But sadly, that's not quite what happened. Alright, so we greatly exceeded our athletic director's expectations. He has 100% opinion of us. Fan base has gone nuts. They were blown away with this year and are now more invested in football. We now have a B fan base. Jimmy Dickey is happy with the season, and we gained a fair amount of coach integrity. Alright, let's save and advance. Alright, what's gonna happen here? We've got 3 upgrades, including a badge. We have 3 upgrades, including a badge. Alright, we'll put 1 in offense, put 1 in defense. We're going to put another in defense. Defense wins championships. I think this is our last badge. While I have to admit the defensive line developer is an intriguing choice, I can't help but look at front 7 miracle worker. All defensive line and linebacker injuries are shortened by 2 weeks. That's the majority of our defense that we could know should be fresh, or should be injury free, or will help to be injury free. Yeah. Defense wins championships. I need defense on its feet. We're going to take that. Alright, our offensive coordinator also earned a badge, as well as an upgrade. Training. There's some interesting ones here. I can't help but not go for the Great Wall. I mean, he'll have Bulldozer. All offensive line gets +2 run blocking in the entirety of the game. And Great Wall is +2 pass blocking in the entirety of the game. Yeah. Alright. Defensive coordinator. He's got his badges. There is a badge at 30, huh? Okay. To recruiting? Man. Louis Sparks is one hell of a coach. Want to keep your options open, want to keep your options open, and I too want to keep my options open. We're done with the renegotiations. What have we been offered? Sadly, we're still not getting the offers that I'm hoping for. I mean, Tennessee, a 7 prestige squad in the SEC is a little interesting. It's not our goal, though. I mean, I feel like this is one of those times where if we're gonna move, this would be the time to move, right? I feel like next year is gonna be a little bit of a rebuilding year. We're gonna have a downtick in what we're going to accomplish. I don't think we're going to be competing for the conference championship next year, though I don't think we'll have a bad team. I just feel like this would be the time to move, and we just don't have the offers here. Maybe I'm being too picky. Tennessee just doesn't do it for me. Syracuse doesn't really do it for me either. Well, it looks like we're staying put. Has been hired by Mississippi State as their offense coordinator. No. Louis Park has been hired by Texas A&M as their defensive coordinator? No. well, we're going to have all our coaches back. Okay, graduating, Julian Wolf. He looks like he has a chance to make it in the first round of the draft. He was Player of the Year. 2-star running back, Julian Wolf. I just want to point that out because I see some of these comments and stuff like on the forum, etc., where they just don't understand stars. They think 2 stars is a bad player, or they think 1 star is a bad player. That's not how stars work. Stars basically are more along the lines of where did that player play his high school ball at. A 1-star recruit typically played in podunk nowhere, and he excelled around people that probably weren't as high a quality as someone who excelled in the middle of downtown Chicago or New York against arguably much higher quality talent. So when people are looking at blue chip players, at your 5-star recruits, they tend to come from high population metro areas like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, so on and so forth, because the overall level of play in those areas is higher. You have more stars because there's more people. And so when somebody excels in that situation, for a scout, they're a sure thing. They're more than likely to succeed. However, it's hard to compare somebody out in podunk the sticks nowhere where he doesn't have other stars he's facing off against. So it's hard to tell if he's just really good or if he's elite good. So really good means he's excelling because he's just higher quality than everyone he's around. Or could he excel against people of high quality? You have a hard time knowing that with 1-star and 2-star recruits because they're not as sure of a thing, but they have the potential to be the best player in the league. Any 1-star player could end up the best player in the damn NFL. You can't use stars as a determinator of how good a player is. The stars are more along the lines of a likelihood that that player is going to be better because he has consistently faced harder competition in his career. So since he's faced harder competition, the likelihood that when you draft him, he's going to more than likely be a better player. But that doesn't mean a 1-star or 2-star player is bad. Alright, I hope I've explained that so people can understand it. Alright, 15 graduations. Big chunk of our running back core has left. Three offensive linemen have left. Three defensive linemen have left. It's going to be a little bit of a rebuilding year. However, we do have a pretty young squad, right? And we have good potential squad, so there's a chance that we're going to see some big off-season gains, and we might be right back in the hunt of it again next year, because we have players that could definitely step up and move into these positions and fill these gaps without missing a beat. But we'll see. It depends on how off-season gains go. I think we might have a couple of uppity players that are going to be wanting to transfer because they didn't feel they got the playing time they should have gotten this year. Yeah, pair of safeties. Alright, where do those safeties fit on the roster? They're both juniors, and they're projected 3rd and 4th. Well, that sucks. What do I have to do to convince these guys to stay? They're gonna want that much nil, are they? Man. I think we have to pay them. I can't. If I make a promise that they're going to get 40% of the snaps and they don't. I just don't think I can make that promise. But I do need them around. So we're going to have to pay them off. Other than that, we are under our needs here. Recommending cut this guy, huh? It's a sophomore. We don't have that many tight ends. Yeah, I disagree. You're wanting to get rid of one of their quarterbacks. Yeah, no, I want to see what happens in the offseason. Although this is the redshirt freshman. Still, we're not going to cut him yet. Right, any of our guys going to end up in the draft besides our running back? So, 2 running backs, 2 years in a row, first round picks. Maybe. Yes. 2 back-to-back first round picks. We should be starting to develop a reputation for the running back recruits. Running backs should start to become easier to draft because they're looking at us like, whoa, what's going on over there? They've managed to have running backs that have won Player of the Year 2 years in a row, and they've both gone in the NFL draft in the first round. So we're establishing a reputation, or should be. Isn't there a way to see all the draft from our squad? View team results. Is that it? I guess so. Know my targets. We're looking at the best transfers by overall, and we're looking for freshmen with high potential. Alright, something like this Peyton Weber here. Throw a target on him, even though it's unlikely that we can get anywhere with him. Kind of interesting. Sophomore. Oh hey, here we have a freshman. B- though. We have so many young quarterbacks that me throwing all this money at this quarterback doesn't make sense in my mind. far I haven't found anything truly jumped out at me here. Alright, here's something a little interesting. He's a freshman. He's got A+ potential. He's got acceptable B- durability. His ball carrier vision and ball security are solid. I'm intrigued. I've already got too many safeties. That's intriguing. An intriguing tight end. It's another intriguing tight end. Alright, you're intriguing. An A+, redshirt freshman, defensive lineman. Don't need safeties. No. Alright, I think we've looked through enough of these. So what have we been intrigued by this year? An elite wide receiver who's a freshman. And some slightly lesser quality guys. Still, I think they could make an impact. We have room for 3, not 5. You're the only defensive player, so we might as well give you the ace. We're just going to give them all offers. We're not going to get all of them. That's obvious. We're not going to offer any nil right now because it's still early on in the process. We've got several weeks to go here. Right, the defensive lineman is intrigued with our proposal. How much is he going to cost us nil-wise to give him a realistic? We'll give him 340. can get the DC pitch ace. These tight ends are going to take a no. Okay, the running back I think I'm most interested in. This is kind of like a big wish, right? We're going for an elite player here. And these two are the, it would be nice. But we're not so sure we're gonna be tossing away our limited bank account at these guys. I don't know. Depends on how things shape up. All right. We have a shot here at this running back, I think. Cal is going to compete. How hard are they competing? Yeah, I don't think they're competing hard enough. And I don't think I need to invest more nil to win this guy. We're just going to leave it as is. I feel like we might win this. This will be a nice, solid player to add into our squad. He's not a guaranteed starter at this point, but he could end up becoming a starter. He's young. That's what matters. Right, if we're going to have any shot at this guy, we have to throw nil at him. And it does look like we have a shot. Yeah. What are the others offering him? Alright, we'll throw another 100 on. Yeah, I don't see us having a shot here. We're just going through the motions on that guy. So between 650, we could end up spending about $1 million nil this offseason if we land these two guys. Do we want to make a serious offer at either of these tight ends? I mean, we're closest here. Is he arguably the better tight end? He's got B- durability. He's got B+ durability. Both have fairly great run blocking, and pass blocking is nice on that guy. Not bad blocking here either. Oh, this seems like the guy we have the better shot at. Alright, I guess that's all the nil we have available to even make a shot. Alright, let's save in advance and see what happens. Wait, no, did I assign? I didn't. You're the most important. You're the next most important. You're a wish. You're not so important. Alright, let's start with the guy we didn't really go seriously for. Let's go for the outside wish. This guy's kind of third in our priority list. He would be nice to win, but we didn't. Even if we were able to give him the 700, I don't think that would have made the difference. Alright, so this is the guy I think we will win. This is the guy I really kind of want. We got him. We got him. Nice. We're going to have at least one decent running back this year. And how did we do here? We got him. Okay, so I think we grabbed two fairly decent transfers to help boost the squad. I'm happy with these guys. Right, looks like our prestige has bumped up to 6. We earned a fair amount of earnings, which then needs to go. Well, first let's start with the coaching staff. Resolve the coaching debt. Up to 5 million nil. Then spend to cover maintenance. Spend to cover maintenance. Cover maintenance. Cover maintenance. Cover maintenance. Right, we have a fair amount of money left. Can we get up to level 10 in training? We can. %14 bonus to player development in off season. 41 scouting. Get 5, 5, 6, 5. Okay, we could get level 6 academics. We could get a level 6 stadium. I'm torn here. I think we're going to go in the academics. Right, the rest of it is going into the facilities. Alright, so we're now up to 32. 6 academics, 10 facilities, 6 prestige. We are the big fish in the small pond. You know, there's no reason we shouldn't continually be facing up against Miami in the conference championships. We should be a favorite for conference championships year after year with our prestige and our facilities in this conference. It should be giving us a huge advantage in this conference. Okay, Griffin Austin has departed the booster program due to recent financial difficulties, which he's been replaced by a gold and a silver, which means more money for us. No realignments, good. Scheduling. Indeed. Who wants to pay to beat us? Nobody. Nobody wants to do the we got home and homes for 1 million. I think it's time to start. No, we're not going to be paying for wins. Who's right in our category? I'm looking for Wisconsin. Where's Wisconsin at? Or well, Wisconsin might not be available this particular. Alright, who is available? Boise, Arkansas, Alabama, Washington, UCF, West Virginia, Boston College, Georgia Tech, Duke, Syracuse, Miami, Michigan State, Tennessee, Florida. Right, Michigan State's Big Ten. Bit of a powerhouse, actually. I'm thinking Army. Ohio State's willing to pay us to beat us midway. Oh, I don't know as if I want. Okay, we could get a home and home with Wisconsin and Illinois. I think Illinois is going to be the... I want both of these. Why? Because we often end up fighting for the same recruits, and if I have an opportunity to play these guys in the season, that would help our recruiting situation. Let's go with Wisconsin here. Can we grab Illinois over here? No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, well, let's try to swap that around. Maybe Wisconsin will be available here if we take Illinois there. No, I'm not seeing Wisconsin. Who would I rather play? I think Illinois would be the easier one. Probably should go with Illinois. Am I going to pay to beat somebody? No, I don't want to pay to beat someone. Do I want to get paid to be beat? Ohio State's like, yeah, we're up for that type of situation. In fact, we often end up competing with Ohio State for recruits as well. Do we want to save a big loss for the end of the year? Well, it gets us guaranteed money. There's something to be said about guaranteed money. Alright, we'll take the Ohio State game. Well, we've got Miami back on the schedule this year. We've got Army. Got probably an Illinois game that'll be in the tougher side, and Ohio State, plus Toledo and Buffalo. Our schedule looking pretty tough this year. So if I was ever to change a position, it would be someone like that's marked athlete. Somebody like this could possibly change to something, but I don't see a need to do this, so. Off-season games. This is the exciting portion. This is the part of every off-season I look forward to seeing because it's like the loot box drop, right? What are you gonna get this year? Our coaches, facilities, we are designed to create talent here in Northern Illinois. Wow, look at that linebacker or offensive lineman, 93. Okay, got a couple 90 guys on the squads. Something we're not used to seeing, actually. Zachary Nicholas, a sophomore who has stepped up and said, I want the starting position, boss. Put me in. He's got terrible durability, though. Okay, well, we have this offensive lineman up in the 90s. I'd like to see more offensive linemen in the 80s, please. Alright, Jeremy Hardy. What did he do? Increase his punt power, so he's trying to be the kicker for all situations, which he might end up becoming in the near future. Alright, Jimmy Dickey's like, hey, I want to be an elite QB. And I'm like, it's about time. Here is an offensive lineman that has gone nowhere. His durability has gone down. His potential has gone down. 90 run blocking, 74 pass blocking. He actually went down in pass blocking. That's not the type of movement I want to see out of my offensive line. Getting concerned that this is only the second offensive lineman I've seen. Okay, here we've got a third. D plus durability? That's not the type of durability I want to see on offensive linemen. Here's the running back that I just went out and grabbed off the transfer portal, right? So he's going to be the part of the 1-2 punch with Zachary then. Okay, here's our senior punter. 88-82. Well, he knows how to go in the right direction. 82 punt power to 88 punt power. Alright, Bradley Orr moving up into the offensive line starting position. 96 pass blocking, 59 run blocking. What have we been doing with you, Bradley? You're on a run team. And he's like, yeah, but I want to be the tackle. Well, you're definitely going to be a tackle. There's no doubt about that. And this is our 5th offensive lineman, I think. Another tackle. Alright, we have 27 guys that are essentially, well, 26, that are 80 and above. That's really good for our squad. This is actually looking like the strongest squad we've ever had. How many are in the 70s and above? $63. That's progress. I think we were like 54 last year. All right, how many 50s? 1. Any big movers down low here? We got a linebacker making good gains. We got an offensive lineman making good gains. And offensive, and that's what I want to see, young offensive linemen that are moving up. A quarterback. Ah, yes, the quarterback battle. The quarterback battle. That's beautiful. Outside of this bizarre happenstance, he's still going to be a starting offensive lineman. I don't know what the hell happened there. Nice. .95 speed, 87 man coverage. This has really been an excellent offseason. Alright, now to get a look at our squad here. So far, Maddox here is looking like the guy who wants to get the job after Dickey's gone. A- potential, A- durability, good arm strength, good accuracy, just needs to work on his intelligence, and he'll be ready to step right in. However, Ricardo Norman here is like, hey, you know, I'm not completely giving up on this fight. Though his arm strength and his durability are lacking, he's got the intelligence. Stevens, not really keeping up in the competition here. And Gage, Gage, you're looking like you're gonna end up getting fired this year. The game recommended that I cut you. I ignored it, but I think you're getting cut next year. Running back situation. So the heir apparent was Zachary Nicholas. I went out and brought in a transfer. Now we have a very nice 1-2 punch. So these guys would have been the second and third string running backs. I'm glad we brought this guy in. This is going to be a nice combination. Honestly, Zachary is the better fullback. Boy, as odd as this seems, the guy with F plus durability is going to be doing the blocking? the faster, weaker guy. They're going to make an interesting pair this year, I think. All right, our wide receivers, they're continually like, you ignore us. You don't ever spend any time with us. We're just here. We're trying to make our mark. You never acknowledge our existence. But as a squad, we're getting better year after year. Tight ends are looking solid this year. You're the blocking tight end. You're the receiving tight end. Look at that offensive line. I mean, our 8th man would have started for us a few seasons back. Wow. Two-star, 90 overall, defensive lineman. Oh, wow. Look at that linebacker squad. Wow. Look at the corners. Look at the safeties. We're a defensive freaking powerhouse this year. I mean, I was saying that this might be a down year. On paper here, this is the best squad we've ever had. This shouldn't be a down year. This should be an up year. In fact, I'm looking at this like this squad could compete for the national championship, maybe. I mean, conference championship, bare minimal. we should definitely be able to win the first round of the playoffs, maybe even the second round. I really think we got a shot to go all the way with this squad. In fact, that game against the Ohio State University that I picked this year might not have been such a bad idea. I mean, if we could pull a victory off against Ohio State University late in the year, that would skyrocket our rankings. I'm impressed by this squad. I really am. Anyway, I'm James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade. This is my content. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If so, please smash that like button. Consider subscribing, and until the next time, all, peace